gonna be answering some questions. And verifying some shit. I know people be saying it's the internet and it's off entertainment and shit, but this girl, look at them two. Alright. We're gonna get to it. We gonna get to it. If you're under the age of 18, please leave my live. My day is okay now, but
hello everyone. Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026 at 1:32 a.m. in the morning. So I could not get to live stream last night. Well, a couple hours ago. I was feeling that bad. So I apologize for any noise. Right now it's like boats passing by.
we're gonna get straight to it. First of all, she said, let me tell the true narrative of being a targeted individual. I'm not a scammer. What you mean tell the narrative? There's a narrative? It's a method to your madness?
So
We're gonna start here.
growing up, all the things, so many things I wanted to pursue in life, the foster mom herself and other people out in society will always doubt me. Now, before I became targeted, before my targeting got worse, like certain people say that I was born targeted, or that I was always targeted, or that I've been selected since before birth. Certain people say, but the targeting for revenge didn't start until I was in ninth grade, because before the incident happened in ninth grade, actually started in sixth grade. I mean, the foster mom, she was abusive and mean, and she used to physically abuse and beat on us, and we almost got taken away from her because after the foster dad, Al.
We did get taken away from her. Twice, you remember? And she came, got us back.
Passed away, which I think that man's death was a blood sacrifice. After he passed away, the foster mom said that the state told her to stop whipping us. But
That ain't why we got taken away.
and she found other.
The person that you're looking at on the screen is essentially me. She looks like me.
Ways to beat us. She stopped whipping us with belts. but she found other ways to beat us, you know. But even when we were little kids, you know, she used to physically abuse and beat on us, and the foster brother Joe used to physically abuse and beat on us, and he was a woman beater. And certain other foster family members, and the biological brother Mark used to physically abuse and beat on us when we were in kindergarten, and then, you know, I felt bad that I started, you know, fighting or hitting other kids, and when I was a kid, and then I grew up and got a certain age, and I said I wanted to break that cycle, and I didn't want to be an abuser, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I've been feeling like terrible that, you know, if I used to hit other kids when I was a kid, and I just feel really bad.
Wait, man. What did she just say?
You know, so, and I've been feeling like terrible that, you know, if I used to hit other kids when I was a kid, and I just feel really bad.
One more time.
You know, so, and I've been feeling like terrible that, you know, if I used to hit other kids when I was a kid, and I just feel really bad.
And why you did it?
You know, I feel like I can't forgive myself.
Mm.
You know, for acting out what I was taught or what was happening to me. You know?
Oh, so you mean to tell me it wasn't the psych meds? Is that what you're telling me? It was never the psych meds that you said years ago, or even last year. You said it was the psych meds. Now you're saying is you was mimicking, doing like hurt people.
Grew up and got a certain age, and I said I wanted to break that cycle, and I didn't want to be an abuser. You know,
What?
the biological brother Mark used to physically abuse and beat on us when we were in kindergarten, and then, you know, I felt bad that I started, you know, fighting or hitting other kids, and when I was a kid, and then I grew up and got a certain age, and I said I wanted to break that cycle, and I didn't want to be an abuser.
So she admits that yes, she was violent or abusive.
You know, so, and I've been feeling like terrible that, you know, if I used to hit other kids when I was a kid, and I just feel really bad. You know, I feel like I can't forgive myself, you know, for acting out what I was taught or what was happening to me, you know. And
So you admit that you were violent, but you tell these folks that you don't even know how to hurt somebody, or you're too frail and disabled.
so, but you know, the foster mom, she kept us punished all the time. She ran her own household like she was her own cult leader. You know, even though she had us in a religious cult. And
Now that I think about that, when you're in somebody's house, you gotta abide by the way they want things, right? Candy, did you tell me and you? We used to break things growing up when we were kids. We used to break a lot of shit. It costed that lady a lot of money.
she used us as cleanup slaves and gave us like small amount of allowance, and people said that what she did to us.
No, bitch. You got double the allowance. Don't be lying. The foster mom used to give you my allowance. Quit saying you got little allowance. Because you was the in-house snitch. You would snitch to get our allowance along with yours. You would snitch for that money. They were paying you to snitch on the rest of us.
Was considered labor trafficking and exploitation, you know, and we got small amount of allowance, and she was, very controlling and abusive. But, I wanted to get my own independence and my own money or whatever. I guess 14, I must have been too, I was told I was too young, but when you're in Pensacola, Florida, and you're 14 years old, they let you have a part-time job. You used to have a job and work at 14 in Pensacola, Florida, but you have to.
Now, why she gonna confirm everything I've been telling y'all all along. So I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people, and I ain't gonna get it, but they ain't gonna stop me from stating the fact that a lot of people owe me an apology.
Be like 2 years older here.
And she owe a lot of people an apology. She owed people an apology for lying to y'all. Making it like it was this way or that way when I've been telling the truth all along.
In New Orleans. I mean, I don't know the state of Louisiana. So I wanted a job and I wanted to work.
Mm-hmm.
And
what happened?
I wanted to excel in school. One teacher had recommended that I get in honors, and then the other teachers doubted me. And
yes, she was in honors classes. She was in honors classes, but she was I hate that she put our business out here like that, but.
And I fought hard to pursue, trying as best as I could, to try to get higher GPA and graduate with honors. I wanted to take advanced placement or AP courses. The fake foster mom and the social worker, they would not let me take like physics and calculus. And see, they're doing noise harassment. I can hear the sirens, but yeah, they blocked me or wouldn't let me take advanced placement courses, and each time, the foster mom would say, oh, shut up about that bullshit about you wanting to be in honors. Like, she would always put me down, and, she would narcissistically lecture me, telling me that I'm not college material. But then she forced me to go to university I didn't want to go to. I didn't want to go to Nichols State University. But I'm glad I ended up having things my way and went to UNO. But the real college I really wanted to go to was LSU in Baton Rouge. And that's why I really wanted to go. Sorry, that's the loud boats. Excuse me. The boats are never really loud until I'm doing a video, and then that's when they want to be loud. I hope y'all can hear me.
Can y'all hear her?
So, the foster mom had smear campaigned me and tried to make me look really crazy certain records for college and certain psychiatric or psychological health evaluations. She would smear campaign me as a certain kind of crazy, and try to make up lies and say stuff that's really humiliating and embarrassing and not true. And when I would question and confront her, she would say, start your shit, start your shit. She would smear campaign and lie on her own and tell people that I'm schizophrenic. But come to find out, that was not my official diagnosis from the psychiatrist.
Then what was? What was it? Because the diagnosis that the psychiatrist gave you, you don't even want to accept. And which, like I said, I get it. But other people shouldn't have to suffer for that. Stop!
I'm not sure if they ever had me wrongfully diagnosed as schizophrenic, but the foster mom brainwashed us to believe that the biological mom, Frances, was from the psychiatrist. I'm not sure if they ever had me wrongfully diagnosed as schizophrenic, but the foster mom...
No, ain't you been telling people all these years that you've been diagnosed as schizophrenic and that they falsely diagnosed you? Now you saying you're not sure?
Brainwashed us to believe that the biological mom, Frances, was so schizophrenic.
Then what was she? Yeah, 'cause I'm clearing up a lot of shit.
Excuse me. They try to make it like as if the biological brother Sean was schizophrenic.
Then what was he? What was he then?
And my twin sister, the foster mom brainwashed us to have my twin sister running around saying that the whole entire family is schizophrenic.
Who did I tell that to? Who did I say that to? Now you might hear me say that schizophrenia runs thick in the family. You might hear me say all the boys are, but I've never said everybody in the family is schizophrenic.
Well, what make your schizophrenia or crazy better than mine?
So when have I ever said that I was schizophrenic? Who are you referring to when you make that statement?
You know, but kind of find out, like, wait a minute, I'm not schizophrenic after all, I'm not crazy after all.
Who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you that?
That's a smear campaign to stop you from speaking the truth. If you're targeted, you know, excuse me, and trying to bring exposure to this wicked program. So, like...
And we're bringing exposure to your wicked program.
I've said before about how many times I tried to get jobs and since my teenage years, and I would fill out so many applications, and they just kept withholding and blocking me. But when my twin sister tried to when she got that piece of her job, they hired her on the spot.
Oh, what? What happened?
When she got that piece of her job, they hired her on the spot. Excuse me, and trying to bring exposure to this wicked program. So, like I've said before about how many times I tried to get jobs and since my teenage years, and I would fill out so many applications, and they just kept withholding and blocking me. But when my twin sister tried to when she got that piece of her job, they hired her on the spot. And she didn't, to my knowledge, she worked there over a year or so, and she didn't.
Maybe like 2 or 3 years, maybe even 4. About I think it was like 15, so about 2 or 3 years.
And I never heard any complaints about workplace mobbing or her being bullied at work. But,
yeah, there was this one boss that used to fuck with me, but that was short-lived.
So many doors were closed in my face, like at the end of the junior year in high school. And, you know, when my senior year in high school, 17 years old, I got hired. It was September 11th, 2000. You know, a year before 9/11 happened, and I got hired to work at Popeyes, and I've been fighting all summer long, and it's
Wait, so I've been working since probably 99, some shit like that. I was like 15, I think. Uh, Wait, what should you say?
year before 9/11 happened, and I got hired to work at Popeyes, and I've been fighting all summer long, and they said that they were remodeling the building.
Yeah, and you left a detail out when you start talking about this job though, Candy.
I worked at the Popeyes on Lafayette Street in Gretna, and so like it took all summer long for me to fight tooth and nail, and I kept trying, and I tried to get a job at the bowling alley that used to be where the Walmart in Gretna. It used to be a bowling alley, and the manager or whatever at the bowling alley threatened to throw me in jail for harassment or something. When I wasn't even trying to harass, he kept playing games and stalling and manipulating and, making false promises or giving false interview dates and kept telling me, come back, and then he got mad and, falsely accused me of harassment. And I was a kid, and I was a kid. And, as I said, he kept playing games and stalling and manipulating and switching the interview dates. And, excuse me. It wasn't my intention to try to harass, but other kids at school used to tell me, if you really want the job, keep pressuring them, or don't give up. So I followed their advice, So the psychiatrist told me that, due to the nature of my disability, that I would not be able to handle working at fast food, and how she turned out to be right.
I'm her family, but I'm not in New Orleans. But yes, she got family in New Orleans.
About that. And the reason why I can't work at fast food, because, with my disability, I can't work at fast pace, and also I can't work around noise.
The thing is, why are you no longer talking about when you said that the boss had SA'd you and groped you after you got fired? It's funny that you don't talk about that no more. You want to tell everything that happened to me, though.
So like when I was like the foster mom kept blocking me from working, and I don't know what she smear campaigned me in a way that all over town or whatever, in a way that like nobody wanted to hire me to have a job, And then Popeyes was playing games and stalling on me, and eventually they gave me the job. And then I didn't know about workplace bullying or workplace mobbing and discrimination. And I was.
So which one is it? Discrimination, or you were sexually assaulted? And like I said, it's funny you don't even talk about that no more. So is it safe to say that it never happened?
Underage child, 17 years old, dealing with workplace mobbing, workplace bullying, and discrimination. And I got wrongfully fired for reporting the manager for sexual harassment. and they admitted to me that they felt threatened.
Oh, so she did mention that. Okay, so, but the thing was, you didn't like him telling you what to do. I would have fired your ass too. Why would you want to stay working if the guy sexually harassed you?
Because sexual harassment means lawsuit or whatever. And it triggered for me to have a Tourette's outburst. I was, everybody ganging up on me at work and then dealing with managers sexually harassing me.
So let me ask y'all, is this y'all first time hearing about this boss that sexually assaulted her on her job? Is it your first time hearing this? She ain't been talking about it. Yeah. Because I forgot who chat I was in. I was like, Candy need to tell these folks what happened with her. She said she was, sexually harassed by the boss on the job.
And they would exploit me, and that would be a whole another video for me to talk about all the dirty things that they did to me when I had that Popeyes job. So come to find out, I wasn't the manager.
And Lowe's, I don't know if you was here for the beginning of the video, but she admitted to that, yeah, she was abusive. Remember, she said it was the psych meds that made her abusive. Now she's saying she was abusive because she's seen other people be abusive and people was abusive to her. And how it always messed with her conscience.
I wasn't their only victims. Excuse me. Some of the other people I worked with said that they had issues with them too, and ended up kind of being blacklisted from employment, or made it hard for them to get a job anywhere else. But excuse me, I worked there for almost 4 months. And yeah, throughout my life, I didn't get to work as much. So many doors closed in my face, so many people and employers refusing to hire me. Like, even after the Popeyes job, nobody wanted to hire me. I tried hard and tried. Nobody wanted to give me a job. I was going to Nichols State University, that Subway location, Subway sandwiches.
Hey, Danielle.
They were always hiring, but they kept rejecting my applications, And the foster mom kept trying to prevent me from working. I tried to work temp service jobs. And, excuse me, like in 2003, I was forced to have to resign from Nichols State University because of, they said excessive absences, due to the side effects of psych medications, and certain other issues that I had, and being mobbed and bullied in college. And like the foster mom kept trying to prevent me from having a job and working. Even I was 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, she kept trying to block me from working. And she blocked me from working, even though I'm disabled, but she blocked me from working because she was, gave me the small Social Security check, small SSI check, while she took the big Social Security check for herself. And she wanted me to hand over all the money to her. And she would be, even I would be 18, 19, 20 years old, she would still be manipulative and controlling with my money. And then after Nicholls State University, when I transferred to University of New Orleans and I got my own place, I was living in New Orleans Towers in Algiers. Now they call it Renaissance Place or something. A low income disabled place. And I was able to finally have all my money to myself, and I was going to college and focusing on college or whatever. And I was bullied at college, and so many college professors and students try to set me up and hold me back and try to hinder.
What about that dude that raped you in college? You don't talk about that no more.
For me, from succeeding or graduating or whatever. And like people used to just, even at Nicholls State University, like I started off majoring in biology pre-med with wanting to be a doctor, and so many people kept trying to doubt me and they sabotaged. And they had a lady named Duenna, Duenna Poche, Poche, a white lady that was, I think, the nurse at Nicholls State University. And she was the one who was so abusive and mean that for her to work in the medical field, that, she was an abusive, mean bully, and she was the one who manipulated for me to have to make the decision to stop trying to pursue biology pre-med. And I was going to college and having to take like remedial courses. Like I had to take remedial.
Man, she wanted to be an OBGYN.
Graduating college, despite graduating high school with honors, I almost didn't make it, But I barely made it through college. And certain people say Hurricane Katrina was a blessing in disguise because if it weren't for Hurricane Katrina, I probably would have flunked out and could never graduate. College was hard. And so many people doubted me, saying that I didn't have the sense or mentality to drive a car or be a doctor or have kids or get married. And they try to force mental health down my throat.
Just imagine, my foster mama told her, hell no, you can't be no damn OBGYN. You got mad and cut all the woman's insides out just because you mad.
So like, I was going to Nicholls, and like the foster mom got mad at me that the college found out that I had been working, and she's like, "How did Nicholls know you worked?" I'm like, well, I didn't tell them. Maybe the IRS or the taxes must have told them. I don't know. But like even the period between Nicholls and University of New Orleans, that transition, I was living with the foster family, foster mom and foster stepdad, and dealing with a lot of abuse, being abused by them. I was 19.
I talked to him tonight. I told him she said that bullshit. He said, if anything, she was the one who used to terrorize me. I'm like, I know. All the time she tried to lie and say you was touching on her and weird, creepy stuff.
Or something like that. And finally got my own place after I was at, the foster mom hated me, but she would not let me go. And I fought tooth and nail to get on my own and get my own place away from her. But she got so mad at me, she refused to ever come visit me, but she was always visiting my twin sister. And she only visited...
Because I had a baby, you dumb bitch. I had a baby. I was pregnant. She was helping me with the pregnancy and the baby more than you did. You didn't help at all.
My place one time. While she was visiting my twin sister all the time. And my twin
Oh,
sister was
and
compliant.
because she was picking me up for Bible class and dropping me off. That's why.
With the cult, I didn't know it was a cult back then. You know, I didn't know what a cult meant back then. You know, but I wasn't really compliant with the cult, and I thought I was atheist. And
Didn't I tell y'all she ain't used to believe in Jesus herself?
you know, so like I guess when I broke away from the foster mom's grip of control, she wanted nothing to do with me. You know, but she hated my guts and acted like I was so repulsive. But she wouldn't let me go. She wouldn't let me free. Like, if you're rich with a BMW, why the hell you know, think it's a big deal to try to steal almost $400 a month from me? But you're rich, living a high life, nice cars, big house. You know, I'm 42 years old, never got to be a homeowner. Never really got to be a car owner. Didn't even have possession of many cars in my life. Basically, I had like only one real car, but the second car, I don't count that because I got taken advantage of.
I ain't even know about no second car. I ain't even know.
And
till last night.
I didn't get to keep that car for long. But I don't count the small amount of rental cars that I've ever rented. But I'm talking about having a car. Basically, I only got to have like one real car, and I had that for like a year and a few months. And the car got repossessed because I had to flee the foster family's abuse. You know. So like, throughout the years, I tried so hard looking for jobs and couldn't get a job no matter what city and state. And like when I was going to Nichols State University, I think the first day or two that I had like the work study job, you know, I was on psych medications and they fired me from the job for sleeping. But they didn't care to hear that it was psych medications. I think I worked there like 1 or 2 days. And then, and that was like in the year 2001 or 2, one of those years.
See, notice, if I don't know shit about it, I don't comment on it. Unless I directly think it's a lie, but certain shit I went there for, I don't speak on, unlike her.
And, like the transition between, when I was going to Nichols and UNO, I was still living with the foster mom. Every job I tried to get, she kept preventing me from working. I tried to work a few temp service jobs, and they workplace mom that bullied me and gang up on me and singled me out, and I didn't get to stay long at the job. And like they used to have this thing called Employment Guide before Indeed.com and all those other places, you know, Employment Guide. I used to try to look through every week for job opportunities, and it was mostly scam. But then when the legit jobs, they refused to hire me, you know. So, or they would ignore me, you know, or reject me. And so many people say they want you with experience, but how do you expect to get experience? You know, and throughout the years, people have been telling me it's not what you know, but it's who you know. You know, and I heard that that's a Masonic statement right there.
No, it's not.
So if you got Masonic connections, you can get jobs real quick and real easy and maintain.
So that's what made me a Mason? Is that what made me a Mason? Because I got hired on the spot?
job and nobody gonna bother you. Excuse me. So
I ain't had no control over that. I didn't even want to work. I didn't even want to work. She wanted to work. I told y'all that. I still wanted to be a kid. Hell, I was, into the band, playing my music and shit. I wasn't ready to start being an adult.
I was even bullied at every apartment complex or every place that I lived at. Being ganged up on and bullied by neighbors. Excuse me.
Candy, how many people did you bully? Y'all, when she first met Dwayne, he walked up to her and told her, "Oh, I'll date your sister." He like, "Hey, my name's Dwayne." And she looked him dead in the face and said, "You ugly."
And excuse me, if I have to get a job or something,
That's one thing about Candy when we growing up and shit. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like so many people, she would just walk up to him and straight up be like, "You ugly. Hey, Sticky. It's fucking stupid."
they workplace mob or bully me or seem like they try to force me, they try to find ways to bully me to the point where they try to force me to quit.
And how many people have you bullied this year alone?
And if I don't, if that tactic does not work, then what they'll do is
Oh, Sticky, she's confessing a lot of shit in this video, man. I don't know what made her do it. But like I said, a lot of people owe me an apology because she even admitted to being violent and abusive.
make up a random bogus lie for an excuse to justify wrongfully firing.
This bitch put me through a lot of trauma. And if anybody do get a hold of Tiara, ask Tiara how many times I woke up swinging in my sleep, sweating and shit. She wanted to ask, like, what happened? Send you the link to the video. Okay. Want to ask what happened. And I'm like, man, I had a fucking fucked up dream about Candy. Had a dream we were fighting.
Make up a bogus lie. And then it being hard to find another job.
You can even ask China. Man, I feel so bad, man. A couple of times China woke up like crying. And I was like, I'm thinking that the dreams were real and shit. Me and Candy, I'm having dreams about us fighting. And I'm swinging in real life in my sleep. Like, it's not funny. But, this girl really put me through a lot of trauma growing up.
Again. And just like people say, nobody will hire you for a job. That nobody will. They say, well, apartments or whatever. They say no one will rent to you.
Cause you don't like rules. People ain't tell you that for nothing.
Having problems with being bullied by landlords, neighbors, and neighbors trying to control me. Neighbors who act like they think that they got authority over me. Or act like a narcissistic control freak, fake friend.
I ain't gonna lie, I kinda wanna edit this video. And do a video, side by side with her, or maybe PSA or somebody gonna do it probably. When she like, oh, they bullied me. And then show a video of her running up on people telling them get off the bench and shit like that. And her saying, oh, they didn't want to hire me. They told me I wasn't good enough to work. And then her play a clip of her being like, I ain't working no more.
And I didn't realize at the time that bossy neighbors were people that were trying to be my handler or thought that they were my handler or something. I didn't know any of this, or a narcissistic control freak fake friend, whether they be profess to be Christian or not. If they would have fake friends that be trying to control what brand of water I should buy.
What?
If they got Aquafina water and they got Dasani water and they're both the same price, if I choose Dasani, they say, oh, that don't make no sense. Why would you get Dasani? Why don't you get Aquafina? If I were to decide to have Aquafina, then they would say, oh, that don't make no sense. Why you don't get Dasani?
Get to the Air Force part, please.
They both cost the same price, so why you want to call me stupid and why it doesn't matter, But people who profess to be a friend, but try to act like they think they're an authority figure over me, But like transitioning between college, like I ended up being, homeless temporarily, like maybe for a couple of nights or something. But I had my own place in Denton, Texas after Hurricane Katrina. For 4 years I could not get a job to save my life. And I had a bachelor's degree. I tried to take up more college courses and nothing I could do to get a job. And they would stand me up and not let me work. And also when I was in New York, they kept preventing me from employment because they wanted me to be forced against my will to focus on fake mental health programs where they think that mental health therapy is me having a college degree and being forced to do first grade math programs on an older computer. And it's like, well, I mean, how is this therapy? How is this healing? How is this helping? To sit on a computer and do first grade math problems all day. And they call that, forced mental health program in New York, and they blocked me from working. And they, and even when I was in Milwaukee after Hurricane Katrina, I did like a work study job where I was workplace mobbed. And dealing with bossy co-workers that's taking advantage and exploiting me, make a fool out of me, and make me do all the work while they sit back and just order me around and tell me what to do and then take credit for what I did.
Like you exploit the family?
And I did, I don't remember how long that lasted, but it lasted a couple of months. But I never got to, I don't think I ever got to have a job in my entire life. I got to last long on the job for like
water.
Anything longer than 4 months.
What?
And then I ended up having like 11 or 12 year gap in employment from 2006 through 2017 or 2018. And
so that sounds like a you problem. So why you been upset with me all these years for getting hired on the spot on my first job when you just admitted you can't even keep a job?
Refused to hire me because no work history for over 10 years. And I did work study for over the summer at University of New Orleans, but right before graduating. August 2000. I guess I graduated August 10th, 2006 from University of New Orleans. I thought it was August 6th, but I graduated August 10th. And I was supposed to have originally graduated spring 2005, but because of the gang stalking and everything setting me back and everything, and I almost didn't make it, and I think I graduated 2.3 GPA overall and 2.7 in my major Spanish, but I started out 4.0 GPA in my major for like a couple of years. And everybody was impressed about, me having such a high GPA, and then dealing with the gang stalking and family abuse. The family, the biological family and the foster family, they wanted to see me fail. So
I don't think that anybody in the biological family wanted to see you fail. I kind of just think that they just didn't give a damn whether you did or not. But probably the foster family, they wanted us both to fail.
in Los Angeles, couldn't get a job. I was living there 4.5 years, could not get a job. You know, and Greenville, South Carolina, couldn't get a job. And they bullied me at the homeless shelters, and I get wrongfully kicked out and banned. And when you go to the homeless shelter, they're not free. They take all your money, and they're bed bug infested, and a lot of people compare them to cults and concentration camps. And the person running the shelter had their hand out for money, acting like you owe them drug money.
What?
Or like they're your pimp or something, But, I because of the gang stalking attacks, after I came back to New Orleans in 2017 and being tortured with directed energy weapons and feel like, damn, they're trying to kill me. I didn't know what was going on. So I got a couple of temp service jobs here and there in 2018, and they covertly and secretly blacklisted me for something that someone else did to me, and it was a gang stalking setup. And I ended up homeless in 2018 and trying to find jobs, couldn't find really many, and if I did, it was like either temporary or seasonal. I didn't start to get like permanent jobs until like when I was in Pensacola, Florida, and the workplace knocked me off those jobs. I didn't get to last long. And when that thing happened in 2020, that starts with a C and ends with a D, and it has 19, and I can't mention it. That thing that happened when Alex Dupree ran me out of Pensacola, and I had a hard time trying to get jobs in Pensacola. He ran me out of Pensacola, Florida, and I thought it was just gonna be a temporary thing with me, having to ask for help for a hotel. And then I would stay on the streets and have the sleeping bag and have a sleep spot and everything. And I would, work at the YMCA and take sleep. I would work and shower there and then sleep at the homeless sleep spot and really not asking for anything and trying my best to be independent. And in 2019, a lot of TIs were homeless and suffering and fighting off perps and everything. Then after 2020, it seemed like majority of the people in the TI community covertly and secretly sold out and switched to the other side and became perps. And hardly anybody mentioning about being targeted much anymore. And they worry about their image, talking about that they don't want to look crazy. So, it's hard to find anyone in the TI community that has not sold out or that's not fake playing both sides. And so after he ran me out of Pensacola, I thought that me needing help for a hotel, I thought that was just a temporary phase. Like, after I got back to Pensacola, I thought I could be independent again. But, the stalkers started getting me wrongfully banned from so many places Like they got me wrongfully banned from so many hotels and motels in Pensacola, Florida, so many restaurants. They got me wrongfully banned, kicked out and banned, tried to get me wrongfully kicked out and banned from the libraries. And, now that I'm back here in New Orleans, they've been trying the same thing, But when I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, the guy at Days Inn in Sharonville, Ohio, wrongfully tried to wrongfully ban me, and because I called him out on trying to screw over me and cheat me, and so I put the camera on him and tried to expose him directly, but kind of found out and I ended up not being banned from the hotel because they saw the crooked thing he did, so other than that, I really wasn't banned from anywhere else that I know of in Cincinnati. But they try to lie on me at restaurants and try to have me wrongfully banned from restaurants and stuff in Mobile, Alabama. They used to gang stalk really bad. And I can't rent a room out of anybody's house. Well, when I would go on Craigslist and apply for rooms for rent, there's like, they would ask to see my picture, and I showed them my picture, and then they would ghost me. Or they would try to act like they think they're a fake wannabe landlord, and try to act like as if they want to make you pay a deposit, or they want to do background checks.
What's wrong with, first of all, the deposit is because you'll sit there and say, oh, well, I get the money in such and such a day, and then you might ghost them. So yeah, they put a deposit to hold that spot because first come, first serve. And then you talking about they want to do a background check. So would you want to be living in a rooming house with somebody that might assault you?
And the money,
Or steal from you?
And then I couldn't live with roommates because the roommates would be dangerous and trying to kill you and stuff. And they were gang stalk and they were trying to kill you. I got wrongfully banned from so many shelters and got wrongfully banned from I got wrongfully banned from shelters in Los Angeles and wrongfully banned from shelters and day centers here in New Orleans, soup kitchens. So like in 2019, I think after I got to Pensacola, at like a couple of months after I got to Pensacola, I remember doing a video. Well, that channel is gone now, but I remember doing a video where I said that I remember doing a video where I said that that wow, the way things are, me getting wrongfully kicked out of and banned or bullied from soup kitchens, I'm gonna have to resort to having to start eating out at restaurants. Shucks, before that thing happened in 2020, I could get a filling meal for $5. I mean, a whole Chinese food plate for a filling dinner for like $4.99.
Times
They're
change.
raising the prices on everything. You can't even find something that's $5 no more unless it's Illuminati fake fast food.
So why do you curse people out if they don't have the money?
That's gonna make you hungry and destroy you more, and so if I can have a dinner for like Mexican dinner for like $7.99. Or sometimes I'll be like, I'm not trying to ask for too much. If I just go to the Mexican restaurant and get beans and rice, $2 for beans, $2 for rice, it'd be $4, and then you get free chips and salsa and free water. It would be hard for me to try to raise funds to ask for help, to get a few dollars, for, dinner. And, they wrongfully, in-person and online stalkers got me wrongfully permanently banned from Cactus Cantina in downtown Pensacola, Florida, and so many other places, that were cheaper and more affordable. So the cafes and restaurants and stuff, like I'm wrongfully permanently banned forever from Everman Co-op or grocery place. I'm wrongfully permanently banned from bodacious and
That don't even matter unless you plan on moving back to Pensacola.
And so many other places. Now I don't even remember, So it's like, well, like here in New Orleans, I think I am wrongfully banned from certain cafes and restaurants and hotels, and some of them I don't even have an answer or any closure, or they won't give me an answer or a closure.
Wait till she gets to the part where she's gonna
in-town suites.
Admit that she wanted to go to the military.
With the in-person gang stalker that was the front desk agent, but nobody wants to give me a flat-out direct answer on whether or not I'm allowed to go there or if I'm banned or not. But I'm under the assumption that I'm banned, and saying the online stalker said that they were trying to get me, I'm saying wrongfully, permanently banned from extended stay America. So, they got me wrongfully banned from, I was told, like that lady at the La Quinta in Metairie, she said I'm banned from all Wyndham hotels. But then I got on the phone with a representative. He said that I'm not banned from all Wyndham hotels. And I called up certain Wyndham hotels, and some of them say I'm on a do not rent list, and some of them said that I'm not on a do not rent list. But I have not even gone to any, I haven't tried to check into any Wyndham hotels. But the hotels used to be like $127 over the weekend and like $98 during the week. And after they got me wrongfully kicked out and banned, now the year 2025 and 2026, like Quinta hotels and Days Inn and whatever under Wyndham hotels be $55 a night. But some of those hotels are disgusting and filthy. And but sometimes you can get to swim and have breakfast and laundry. You can get to do it all for $55, cheaper than some of the motels around here. Now, back in 2018 and 19, the place where the fake economizer got wrongfully banned from in Gretna, that's a new kind of new hotel, and I think it was 2024 that they were brand new. So the hotel's like 2 years old now. But before then, they had a place called Century Inn, and they used to be 2018 and 19. They used to be $55 a night, and with $5 key deposit, and then or $250 a week with $5 key deposit. But the stalkers, they got me wrongfully banned from like almost all the hotels and motels on the West Bank Expressway, whether it be Harvey, Marrero, Gretna, Westwego, And a lot of people say don't go out in the east, especially on Chevron-Ventura Highway. So I've been avoiding the out in the east altogether. And I had a traumatic experience with a female perp that put her hands on me. And so it's like, to ride any of those buses that go out in the east, they got some dangerous people. So I'll steer clear of hotels and motels out in the east. And the stalkers expect for me to go to the hotels on Sheffman, or the motels on Sheffman to a highway where all the drugs and prostitution and murder and sin and wickedness and evil. That's where they want me to go. That's bed bug infested. You know. So, like I was told that I'm on a do not rent list for the Ramada Hotel, on Sheffman Tour because of what happened, you know, and so, because of what happened at La Quinta with that gang stalking setup. And it's unfair, you know. The stalkers took months old video because they tried to block me from having a hotel. And, you know, they take old videos and show them because they want me to go out on the streets for court and fake amnesia. He tried to talk about when he wanted for me to be disheveled and go to court and be disheveled and dirty so I can be discredited by the judge so that they can lock me up in a mental institution and throw away the key. And, you know, he would talk about wanting to, you know, talk about me serving a jail sentence, you know, from when they illegally swatted me multiple times. And he tried to say, you will serve your sentence for 33, that's 8 and 33 days. And then after you serve your sentence, we're going to traffic you to a brothel in Shreveport. He was bold with saying that. And these people that want to stay faceless and nameless and don't want their identity shown, and they're trying to, internet strangers trying to control my life and claim that they own me, and that you know, they say, you know, we own, don't forget we own you, but then they want to say, Candy act like she thinks she owns that bench, she thinks she's entitled to that bench. Oh, you don't own the public, but you claim you own me. I'm not trying to act like I own something, but like they plant stalkers to come and do harassment tactics around me, and if I've been there for hours and they come and, you know, do their stuff around me, then, you know, for me to say, get the hell away from me with that, and then, you know, the stalkers, you know, try to be assholes, so then I'll start to put them on film. And then you don't know what happened off camera before I started filming and recording. They think that because I picked up the camera and started filming and recording that I'm the one that's bothering and harassing people. I mean, they could send a perp to come and, with me being out here right now, they could send a perp to come and sit on my lap. You know, catch me off guard and come sit on my lap. And then I film and record, you know, and then the perp sitting on my lap, looking at me like I'm the weird one, or like something's wrong with me. And I'm like, get off my lap. And then we're arguing, and then they lie and say I'm stalking and harassing and bothering people. You know, it's like people see evidence of the truth and still want to believe the lie, the false narrative.
Who sit on your lap?
Why do you believe a bunch of faceless, nameless internet stalkers?
No, we believe what you post in your videos where you be way across the street, walk all the way across the street to confront somebody.
You know, like my mouth is the horse's mouth. But, you know, for someone who just started stalking and harassing you 6 months ago, how y'all believe them telling the narrative of my entire life? And my twin sister is helping the cult, and because we're twins, they think she's a credible source. But even other people, she had a situation.
This bitch been watching my videos. Oh!
But other people, when they say she do nothing but freaking lie so much.
Yeah, you've been busting so many lies in this video alone.
She falsely accuses other people of being such a liar. And my twin sister, she picked up where the foster mom left off at with the abuse.
No, you did, bitch.
You know. So like in 2023, when I came back to New Orleans, I could not get a job to save my life.
Candy been out there prostituting. That's why she
And
got so much talk
like,
about
at the
sex work.
Riverwalk or whatever was like putting pressure on me and keeping tabs to make sure I'm looking for jobs and working. And I'm like, well, at that time it was hard for me to even get my driver's license switched over and get a mailbox or whatever. Now I have that. And you know, the stalkers, they got me wrongfully banned. Lied on me, got me wrongfully banned from the Riverwalk. They tried so many times to get me wrongfully banned from here by the aquarium, by the other spots further down. I'm wrongfully banned from this Hilton Hotel, Hilton Riverside, and wrongfully banned from the Riverwalk. Like they banned me from Hilton Hotel while I was trying to look for a job. And they did the same thing to me at Everman in Pensacola, Florida, when I went to try to apply for a job, and they decided that I was banned for life. Just because they had the police escort me. I mean, the guy was abusing, he was a manager, not the owner, and he abused his fake power.
Who remember that
And
video?
He lied on me. And they said I was banned for trespass for 1 year. And then after like 18 months, I came back. I tried to look for a job. You know, they told me I was banned forever from all the locations. And I used to go there all the time and get food before I found out how to, you know, found out my way around the city of Pensacola, you know. But they had a police officer that told me to go sleep by the abandoned bank. And no police ever bothered me. You know, gang stalkers did, but the cops left me alone. You know, I had the sleeping bag and had the sleep spot, and, you know, because the first night in Pensacola, Florida, first 2 nights, you know, they had me go to that Heavenly Blessings place, which was a homeless communal cult, where they try to take all your money and force you to live.
Well, are you a cult? Because you always taking people money,
you know. And I think that's a human trafficking operation. You know, and so they had other homeless shelters. I got wrongfully kicked out and banned. Even there, in Mobile, Alabama, you know, they wrongfully kicked me out the shelter and gang up on me and bullied me within 2 hours. I got wrongfully banned from shelters in Los Angeles, California, here in New Orleans, and also Mobile, Alabama. I think New York City.
Yes, New York. And guess what? When she got banned from all these places.
And like on this past trip, you know, so if I try to get into shelters and they
all
tell me
them was before you going on YouTube. All that was before then. When she lived in Los Angeles, New York, all that.
Don't have any beds available, shelters are full, or I get wrongfully kicked out in 12-degree weather, being abused.
So maybe either I missed the part or it's in the beginning of the video, but we're going to get to that part where she admitted she wanted to be the one to go to the Air Force.
Forced to have to suffer outside, you know. They're abusive and exploitative at these shelters. These shelters are cults, you know, exploitative, money-hungry prison scam cults, you know. Oh, man. So, like, I'm starting to get a headache again.
Get back. Get back.
I'm wondering if there's anything else I needed to talk about. But yeah, it was 2020
Back.
when I
Get
started
back.
to have to
Quit being long headed.
constantly ask for help for hoteling, and hurricane seasons were so bad that year,
Come here.
you know.
Hey, boy.
But I had plenty of nights on the streets in Pensacola, Florida, with that sleeping bag. Here in New Orleans, I cannot have a tent or a sleeping bag.
Come on. Look, smell.
Excuse me. I mean, I can't put a sleeping bag and sleep on the ground or right here. I mean, if they let me, I mean, if they were to allow me to do that, you know, I probably could, sanitize the ground and then put the sleeping bag down and, try to go to sleep. Or, if this shelter overhead right here,
Get up.
if I could have a sleeping bag and sleep right there, but they won't let me. They tell me I cannot sleep around this area. I can't sleep. But I see other homeless people sleeping. The security guards, they handpick when they want to let them sleep and leave them alone, or when they want to harass them, say, you can't sleep here, you can't be over here. They're wishy-washy with it, Excuse me. So they have had moments when I would try to work on my writings, and for me to work on my writings, I had to deal with being electronically harassed, electronically attacked, trying to work on an ebook.
Bella, go eat your food.
I want me to get the truth out.
Come in.
And even if it's a fictionalized illustration of the truth, they feel threatened by even my fiction writings. They don't want me to be a self-published author. They think they got the authority to say that I'm not a writer, that I'm not an author. They have tried to get all my ebooks wrongfully banned. Well, I'm gonna get off here because of the train.
Alright, so let me go back to the beginning of the video because I jumped all the way to the 19-minute mark. I need y'all to hear when she says that, she wanted to be the one to go to the military.
I don't even know if I went to pee over 20 times yesterday. I don't know how many times I had to go pee yesterday with the forced urination. And my legs are still swelling. I'm afraid that they're gonna burst or pop. And it's hard for me to step up and down on with stairs and trying to get on and off the buses and streetcars. It feels like my legs are going to pop open.
What?
Or stepping into a bathtub or whatever.
You need to be on a water pill.
It felt like my mouth, the inside of my mouth, the top of my mouth was swollen. And swollen and painful, and all my teeth hurt. And then when I took my bentonite clay supplement and the amazing grass supplement yesterday, I tried to take the coconut oil around this time of morning yesterday, and usually the coconut oil would help, but the coconut oil was not helping. I tried to glide the coconut oil all over my mouth and then swallow it, and I still felt pain. And I had a hard time trying to eat my breakfast yesterday. But then, when I, took the supplement, I felt like almost immediate relief from the pain and swelling, and I was able to expel more mucus, and I had to keep blowing my nose all day, peeing and blowing my nose all day long. And when I kept blowing my nose, what was coming out of my nose looked infected, So I'm low on my supplements, not the coconut oil, but I'm low on the 2 supplements that I just had mentioned. And I'm gonna have to you know, next week try to get me some more, you know. But like, I think I might have between 2 and 3 more servings of the amazing grass, and then with the clay on, I don't know if I might have a week or whatever. So I mean, I can't brush my teeth anywhere. And that, what's that? The Himalayan pink salt that I got from Aldi when I was in Alabama in December. I'm having a hard time with that. I had bought like 2 bottles, and they come like with a grinder, and I've been having a hard time with trying to grind it out, or trying to, you know, I'm gonna have to get me some more, another kind of Himalayan pink salt that'd be easier, you know. Excuse me. But yeah. So yeah, I started to feel instant relief yesterday from the inflammation and pain. And like when I had this problem 3 months ago, December 14th of 2025, I was told that I had a sinus infection. I went to the emergency room and I got antibiotics and stuff. I don't want to take antibiotics, you know. But like yesterday, my whole body felt hot, and I felt cold at the same time. And I don't know if I had a fever or not, you know. But the pain is slowly but surely trying to come back. Last night I had some, I tried to get the cheaper dinner, you know, some red beans and rice and sausage for $10.99. At the other place I had been going, they raised the prices, you know, but this place that I went to, the red beans and rice was $10.99, and you know, I was craving donuts because of feeling depressed about my situation and the harassment and attacks and stuff. So I ordered 3 donuts, but I was only able to eat 1, and I saved the other 2. I thought I could eat all 3 of them, but yeah. So I mean, I was craving like these buttermilk donuts, you know, not the buttermilk drops, but they were like buttermilk donuts. But they had both of them, you know. But and I was like, well, I figured that I knew I was gonna pay for this later, you know, like I shouldn't have had, for health reasons, you know. My immune system is weak with me being sick and days of sleep deprived, and you know, I shouldn't have had that donut. But since I got that one and the other 2, I might as well eat the other 2. But like the supplement's supposed to detox, you know, detox the poison or whatever, bad foods or whatever, you know. But I need to discipline myself and restrain myself to not, you know, eat foods that's bad for me. You know, I need to try to recover. But like, as I said, I've been depressed, suffering depression because of the harassment and the stalking and abuse, you know, the nonstop torment. So there's some other things
Beans, rice, and donuts with no access to a bathroom is diabolical.
I wanted to say that this perp that's been harassing me with the fake name Crip Hood, I don't know if that's rapper Jay or another perp, you know, that was harassing me and trying to tell me no hotel for 90 days. That basically I'm not allowed to have a hotel for 90 days. They're wicked Satan worshipers that's trying to control me and manipulate me. So for them to treat me like that, and I'm older than you know, and then like they go around threatening people, and they follow through with their threats. And I say like over 90% of the time they follow through with their threats, but sometimes they don't. Like every once in a while they don't, but the majority, it's really scary that they threaten you and then follow through with their threats and then succeed at destroying and hurting you. So, you know, if they're preventing me from getting a hotel, you know, prevent me from getting, you know, a roof over my head, a job or whatever. And then they want to say Candy stinks. And well, if you've never physically been around me, you don't know what I smell like. But I normally don't walk around smelling like urine. But they've been forced urinating me and keeping me forced homeless and forced on the streets. And blocking me from getting to get clean.
Candy, you said how would you know people know? How would people know what you smell like? You tell them what you smell like.
Online and in-person stalkers, you know, they're blocking me. You know, certain hotels, if I go to the hotel and they be lying about not having quarters for laundry, and sometimes I'll be too exhausted to have to hand wash my clothes. You know, they lie and say they don't have quarters when they do, and they just don't want to give them to me. And but they're giving the other hotel guests. You know, and my bank is way and out of state. I'm not gonna say where, but it's out of state. And you know, they don't have a location or a branch here. You know, and I can't go into a local bank and try to get quarters for laundry. I mean, they won't even let me purchase quarters for laundry. So Walmart and Target and stuff and grocery stores, they used to you know, give quarters for laundry. But now they don't do that anymore. If I try to go to a check cashing place, you know, in Los Angeles, they made you purchase quarters, you know. But I can't find anywhere where I can exchange or purchase quarters for laundry, you know. But yeah. So it's like the perks are blocking me from having a hotel or whatever. And then want to lie and say that I enjoy smelling bad, and they smear campaign and falsely accuse me of having nasty habits. You know, but they're blocking me from getting clean. Well, I want to be clean. I don't want to be forced to be dirty, you know. And it's traumatizing with me having severe OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, you know. But I know it's almost 15 minutes. I thought I was gonna be too sick or not feel well enough to talk about this topic that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, like last night my body felt so weak I thought I was gonna collapse. And I didn't think I would be able to successfully make it to walking over here. And I kept like having micro sleeps, and it was dangerous, you know, for me to doze off. Like when me standing up and me walking and then stop somewhere and then doze off for a couple of seconds. Every couple of minutes, you know, and trying to fight to stay awake. Felt like I was gonna black out and lose consciousness, you know, from lack of sleep or not enough sleep. And so I wanted to talk about this topic. I guess I'm feeling up to it, to tell y'all the true narrative of my targeting suffering. hear my side.
We listening?
Some internet strangers, it's unbelievable that people believe the narrative of people who are stalking and harassing and sex trafficking. So, can I tell my side? This is my side of the story.
You been telling it. You got it to where people don't even want to hear my side.
Y'all know that I was abused in foster care and put in a cult growing up.
No, it's not a cult.
And certain people say that me and my twin sister, the fact that we're twins, that we were sold to the MK Ultra program and victimized.
So if we're sold to this program, how come you're the only one that's targeted?
As by MK Ultra experimentation, and satanic ritual abuse. That's what people say, from when they hear my story on how I grew up, and things that happened when me and my siblings were like little kids and stuff, So, but basically, I basically wanted to talk about the employment or work aspect of, my situation, since the stalkers, they lie and falsely assume, they have a false narrative to lie and say that, they tell a different narrative and a different story each time, and they switch up their story. They don't know the truth. And my twin sister is just helping to feed their lies, and like
How?
stuff that she knows damn well ain't true.
Like what?
So even though I grew up disabled and in special ed and everything.
Oh, I hate that she. Ooh.
I used to like to try to be independent and do things for myself. Now I started like when I was 14 years old when I felt like I wanted a job and I wanted to work. And I also wanted to go into the military.
There we go. What minute mark is this? I can't see shit. There we go. Now she admits it.
When I felt like I wanted a job and I wanted to work. And I also wanted to go into the military.
Didn't I tell y'all?
I wanted to go in the Air Force. I wanted to be an OBGYN in the Air Force. More like obstetrician in the Air Force.
She wanted to look at Coochie in the Air Force.
And
didn't I tell y'all? She wanted to go. That's why she go with that. Oh, my twin sister got put out the military because of a lie. She get undeserved praise from the military because of a lie. She wanted to go.
Not so much a gynecologist. I want to be both, but more obstetrician than gynecologist, But
So you're not gay, but you want to smell coochie all day.
So growing up, all the things, so many things I wanted to pursue in life, the foster mom herself and other people out in society will always doubt me. Now, before I became targeted, before my targeting got worse, like certain people say that I was born targeted, or that I was always
No, you were born
targeted,
retarded.
or that I've been selected since before birth. Certain people say, but the targeting for revenge didn't start until I was in 9th grade, because before the incident happened in 9th grade, I was actually started in 6th grade. The foster mom, she was abusive and mean, and used to, she's the physical.
So yeah, there you have it, folks. She confessed to a lot of things. Hold on, before I go, I'm gonna play this part again for.
Abused and beat on us, and and we almost got taken away from her because after the foster dad Al passed away, which I think that man's death was a blood sacrifice. After he passed away, the foster mom said that the state told her to stop whipping us, but then she found other ways to beat us. She stopped whipping us with belts, but she found other ways to beat us, But even when we were little kids, she used to physically abuse and beat on us, and the foster brother Joe used to physically abuse and beat on us, and he was a woman beater, and certain other foster family members, and the biological brother Mark used to physically abuse and beat on us when we were in kindergarten, and then I felt bad that I started, fighting or hitting other kids, and when I was a kid, and then I grew up and got a certain age, and I said I wanted to break that cycle, and I didn't want to be an abuser.
Wait a minute.
When we were in kindergarten, and then, I felt bad that I started, fighting or hitting other kids, and when I was a kid, and then I grew up and got a certain age, and I said I wanted to break that cycle, and I didn't want to be an abuser, So, and I've been feeling like terrible. That, if I used to hit other kids when I was a kid, and I just feel really bad.
You feel so bad that you've been lying and telling these folks that it was me. All these years. That it was me.
I don't feel like I can't forgive myself, for acting out what I was taught or what was happening to me, and
acting out what she was taught. Now, all these years she told y'all that it was her medication that made her violent. Now it's because of what she was taught. Now, I wanted to hit the nail on the head with those 2 key points. Yeah, this whole video was just a confession video. Just like she told everything. But yeah, the gang stalkers are trying to force doodle me. So I gotta go. I'm gonna hit y'all later.